Guess what time it is? It's Derby time, and that's at Mammy's Kitchen and at Mammy's house today. And I'm going to bring you some of my favorite Derby dishes. So let's get started. All right, we're ready, and we're going to start off with my favorite things again, and that's the Kentucky pie. This is a family recipe of ours, and I do this for the restaurant all the time. It's one of my favorite pies. So we're going to start with 1 cup of sugar, then we're going to pour the 1 stick of melted butter in here. So we've already melted that. We're going to stir that sugar and butter in to dissolve the sugar. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And then we're going to add 2 eggs to this. And that's what gets everything to stick together. Good old eggs. We're going to mix them up before we throw them in there. Okay, we're going to add our 2 eggs. We're going to mix all that flour and sugar together. This is a very decadent dessert, and it's very popular around the Derby time. We're going to end up with a teaspoon of vanilla. And then my favorite part is we're going to put 1 cup of chocolate chips in. I think I had a few more chocolate chips than 1 cup though, and that's all right. And then we're going to do pecans. A lot of times when I'm at Mammy's Kitchen, I'll use walnuts because we use a lot of walnuts there, and I prefer walnuts, but it's Derby and it's going to be done with pecans. I'm going to do this in a 9-inch pie shell that's unbaked, because this is going to take about an hour to cook at 350. This is a pretty easy and fast pie to make. It does take a while to cook and cool down, so you'll want to do it early. Get all them chocolate chips in there. Then we're going to set it in the oven at 350 for 60 minutes. For our entree today and for our appetizers, I'm going to fry some steak and some salmon. So we're kind of going to do a surf and turf. With the vegetables, I chopped up some cabbage, and I'm going to put a little olive oil in our hot skillet. We're going to turn it on medium-high. And I've got some radishes, I've got some sweet red peppers, some yellow peppers, I've got cabbage, and I've got squash, some really pretty vegetables. And I'm going to put these in here first. Okay, and I've shredded some sweet potatoes just to get a little sweet taste. And I've also got a little bit of onion in there. And we're going to put this in the skillet, in a hot skillet, and let it fry. Because the cabbage takes a little bit longer, we're going to wait for the collard and kale greens, and then once this cooks down, then I'll add these to it, and then you're going to have a great mixture of fresh vegetables. And here they go. And I'm going to add some salt and some pepper to taste. And some spices. Not real hot, just some mild spices. And we're going to let that fry. And while that's frying, I'm going to warm this one up. And we're also going to use some olive oil. And this is going to be for our salmon, and we're going to get it started. And I've got some fresh salmon here. And I love cooking fresh salmon, and it's really, really easy. And we're going to get that skillet good and hot, because I just kind of want to sear it, and then we'll bake it off till it's done, and it doesn't take that long. water to this much, just so my cabbage doesn't burn. That sounds great. So I'm gonna come back over here to my salmon. I think this is good and hot right now. And that's perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect temperature. And I'm gonna season with salt also. And some pepper. I like seasoning all my foods. I don't like anything bland. And we're just going to keep an eye on this when it starts becoming a little soft. It'll be ready to add the greens. And it's really a beautiful and a light dish. Very colorful. Good blackened season on there. I'm going to add some blackening. Basically, it's a lot of pepper, paprika, and a little bit of brown sugar. Now, this is a great dish that I fix at the restaurant. Everybody loves it and can make it into a soup, and you can have it with steaks. But for a derby party, we'll have lots of specials. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of entertainment. Of course, we'll go to the races, come back to the restaurant, have something great to eat. A lot of people stop there with their hats on before they go to Churchill Downs or wherever to see the races. And it's really nice to be there and see all these people dressed up in their hats and taking pictures and eating a big breakfast or brunch before they leave. So it's really exciting time for us. I used to work at Churchill Downs, and I was fortunate enough, I waited on Lewis Earl Jones, Brooke Shields, Randy Travis, even Donald and Ivanka Trump. And so it was really fun that for about 20 years that I worked there, and it was a lot of fun, and I kind of miss it. But now I'm working at my restaurant, so lots of experience. We're going to have lots of derby specials at the restaurant, lots of derby drinks, really cool drinks for the bar. So come on down so we can have some fun on the patio. It's going to be an all-day event, and I can't wait to get dressed up for it. All right, our salmon is just about done. When you see that is just going to be perfect, and it's got that seared, crunchy outside. That's how I like my fish. You know, back in Gravel Switch or Bravertsville, it wasn't salmon, but we did catch catfish, and that was just as good. I remember my pal bringing fish back. So we've got our salmon done, and I'm getting ready to start the steaks. Hold on, get that so I can get a good sear on that. So we're going to get some olive oil in our iron skillet, and our cabbage and radishes and peppers are looking beautiful, so I can add some of these greens right here. And it's not, before you know it, oh, that's going to be a perfect dish. Get all your vegetables in one bite. And a little bit of salt throughout that. Give you some flavor. And pepper. And before you know it, this will be done. It's a good fast dish. I cook this a lot at home. After cooking all day at the restaurant, this is just perfect for me and Fly. And looks like our grease is really good and hot, so we're gonna put our steaks on the skillet. And this is one of the perks of having a restaurant, that I could just go in and get me 2 steaks, and they're really, really good steaks. So we're gonna let these fry. Salt and pepper is the hardest thing you have to do to this. So we're gonna get these to where they're medium. And you have a full meal within minutes. So this is perfect for a day like Derby Day. I'm gonna cut some asparagus to put on our steaks, and we're just gonna lay that right over and let that cook. So we do a surf and turf at the restaurant every Friday and Saturday night, and I just love it. It's going over so well. And so it's a perfect meal for our Derby Day party as well. I don't ever remember Mammy cooking in anything other than an iron skillet. And so I try to cook just about everything, especially at home, in my iron skillets. That's a beautiful plate. And we're going to turn these off because they're good to go. So we're going to check on our Derby pie. Can't wait because I can smell the aroma of those chocolate chips. And I think it's ready. Yum. That is perfect. So our steaks look perfect. So we're also going to put these on our platter. My brother, who is one of my cooks at the restaurant, Marty, Uncle Marty, he's the best steak cooker, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job myself today. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to add some of our cabbage, our greens, our squash, our peppers to this. Invite all your friends over. And then you've got a perfect Derby Day meal. So this is a great time to spend with friends and family and a lot of customers at the restaurant that we're going to have a great time on Derby. And Lynn and I, one of my great friends, is going to taste test some of this great food that I fixed today.
It's delicious.
Makes you a lover of salmon and fish. Yum. And the greens are fresh. Just like from farm to table. Really, really good. Reminds me so much of my Mammy's kitchen. And paired with a glass of wine is perfect. Cheers to good friends and good food. Now, last but not least, let's try the pie. See if these family recipes that we have are really, really good. So good, so chewy, decadent. With this and this paired with this, glass of wine, great friends, good family. It's going to be a perfect Derby Day in Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. Bye-bye. This is really good, isn't it?
It's delicious.